Welcome to Notary Insights Live with Tech Amaku and Tiger Toledo. The show will be starting shortly. Thank you for your patience. Welcome to Notary Insights Live with Tech Amaku and Tiger Toledo. The show will be starting shortly. Thank you for your patience.
Peace. Your international sales and marketing hit man, your humble hip hop sales coach, Tiger Toledo. And you already know what it is, man. You rocking with the best. You heard? Give me a round of applause for myself. All right. A round of applause. You're gonna laugh it out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I've been giving this a lot of thought lately. With the notary industry, and me and my brother Tech, we talk a lot about what's going on. Try to stay on the cutting edge of the notary industry and bring the new heavy hitters that are coming into the game, like the Teresa and Natural Jesse and Steven Mercedes out in the Bronx. Shout out to the Bronx, Brooklyn, what up? Queens, Staten Island, Chicago, I love y'all to death. Cali, what's up? Texas, Houston, Texas, what up, y'all? Y'all show the kid mad love, man. Shout out to Texas, all around Texas. My girl Dominique out there. So psychology, man. How many of you guys gave it any thought that some of the reasons why you have not excelled in this notary business is because of psychology? Your mindset has not been where it needs to be for you to execute the way you want to execute. So today I have 4 really, really good tips on how you can, 1, make more money, 2, not work as hard to make that money, and 3, the type of mind frame you're going to need to be that top performer in this game. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I really appreciate you guys coming on here. Where's my applause? This is an applause for you for being here. Pat yourself on the back. I'm your humble hip-hop sales coach, Tiger Toledo, and I'm glad to see you guys today. So we're going to cover 4 things that my goal is to get you in the right mind frame into why you should be executing at a much, much higher level. Much, much higher level. Let me give a shout out to Amir Alk. Give you a shout out there. Thank you. Okay, so we'll get right into it. Number 4. We'll go into, we'll do the countdown. How about that? We'll do the countdown. Now, this is for people that are answering the phone. If you don't have Sabrina, you don't have some type of automated call answering service like a Sabrina, and you're answering the phone calls yourself, then it's very important that you execute like this when you're on the phone. This is most likely going to be like a 3-part series. So because the phone is the bread and butter of the notary industry, I wanted to cover that first, because this is going to be actionable steps that you can take today and instantly give yourself a raise. Like right after this show, I promise you, if you execute what I'm going to tell you, these next 4 steps, you will instantly be able to give yourself a raise today. So the first thing is this: when you're answering the phone, let's bring this up. Scarcity and future vision. If a person tells you that, if a client calls you and says, hey, look, I'm looking to get a notarization today at 3 o'clock, or let's say 4 o'clock, are you guys available? Now, you know you have an hour's time to get to that appointment or dispatch a notary to it. But if the client says, you know what, I don't know, I have a time frame between 4 and 8 o'clock, and you do not put guardrails around that and be like, I'm sorry, we do not have openings from 4 to 8 o'clock. There's no way we could service you. I can give you some times that can possibly fit in the window that you're looking to do it. You have to offer some type of scarcity. This is so important on a mental level. People are attracted to things that are in limited supply. I'll repeat that. People are attracted to things that are in limited supply. And this can fall into any category. This could be in the category of a relationship. If you see a baddie walking past, and you know that the likelihood of you walking down that street and she's walking down that street, and you may not ever see her again, it will prompt you to take action and introduce yourself and try to make a connection. When people go to the nightclub and maybe they're scared and timid to approach people, what they do is they take that liquid courage. The liquid courage, for them, it calms down all of the anxiety that they're having in order to approach now. But the problem is, now you're approaching this chick sloppy drunk, and you wonder why she's not giving you any play. That scarcity mindset, that this is not going to be around much longer. I don't know if I will be available to see it. Another example, a Beyonce concert comes to Chicago. Soldier Fields is sold out. It's almost sold out. There's only a few tickets left. Now, mind you, there could be thousands of tickets available, but the radio station will tell you that there's only a few tickets left. Hurry, hurry, hurry and get those tickets. Do you know that concert promoters will block out an entire section in order to drive up the price for people to buy pricing at maybe closer rows, or, seats in a certain section? And then when you get into the concert hall, you're like, that whole section is empty, because they're driving you with scarcity. So if a notary client calls you and says, what availables do you have open? And you say, I'm open all day. I'm free all day. Just call me whenever. You are doing your business an injustice. Shout out to Natural Jesse. Hey, hey, hey. How you doing? Queen's in the building. That is right. Made a very solid point. She said, yes, because if you can get it easy, it doesn't feel as special as working for it. You can't make yourself so available to people like that. As much as you would like to, and you think it's great business, you have to put some type of guardrails. If a person is always trying to call you and they can always reach you, you got to give them a chance to hunt. You remember when you first started dating somebody and you couldn't get a hold of them all the time? Didn't it make you want to pursue them even more? Did it not make you just a little more attractive to that person? Be like, damn, this person, like every time I call, I get them once every four phone calls. It's alluring. It's mystique. Add a little theater to your business. So scarcity is adding theater to your business. And then you want to paint the future vision. The future vision is basically this, is when a client calls you and say, hey, I have a power of attorney that needs to get done. And you give them a walkthrough of what it's going to look like so they can picture in their head, because most people think in pictures. So if you can paint a very vivid picture in their mind that this is how the appointment is going to go. Okay, once the notary gets there, they're going to check for your IDs, verify that it is you. We're going to go over the documents. You're going to sign where you need to sign. The principal is going to sign where they need to sign. And then the notary is going to stamp and execute the documents, and voila, it is done. You can refine that message to the point where it's like a 3-part message. Like it's just 3 or 4 steps. Don't complicate it. Simplify it. Paint the future vision of what that looks like. Because hold on one second. Because what you're going to want to do, because what you're going to want to do is this. The people that you execute, I'm going to drop serious psychological gem. And I will say this, I am qualified to speak on this because I have over 20 years of sales experience and marketing experience. So I understand how people think. People are creatures of habit. I've sold everything from windows to cars to windows. I'm sorry, from health club memberships to software to, I had a shrimp and lobster importing business. I had a record label. I was in the music industry. I understand the psychosis of why people buy and what drives them to want to purchase a product from you, even though your price is much higher than the competition. So when you are painting the future vision in your customer's mind, and you break it down in 3 easy steps. Okay, this is what we're going to do for you. Step 1, you're going to book the appointment. Step 2, the notary is going to, arrive at your home. Step 3, they're going to execute and notarize your documents. That's it. The reason why you want to break it down in 3 to 4 steps tops is because when they talk to their friend or family member, they will reiterate and regurgitate exactly what you told them. Oh, it was very easy when I got my notary thing. It was 3 simple steps and we were done. That's how you undocument a ambassador for your business. You know what I mean? This is how you get people to represent your company unofficially. You simplify the message to the point where they can reiterate it to a friend or family member very simply. If you complicate it and you give them like, well, it's going to be about like 20 steps, 10, 15, 20 steps for them to do it. You think they're going to go tell their auntie all of that? Well, let me break it down to your auntie. It'll take about 30 minutes on what it's going to take for you to get this notary. No, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. You won't even want somebody to do it to you. So that's step number 3. I'm sorry, step number 4 on that one. We're going to go right into number 3. This is very important. You want to frame the conversation as a solution, not a sale. See, most of the times when we're getting on a phone call with a client, we're basically trying to book them and close the deal. And a lot of times, if you do not have the skills or the empathy, it comes off, you come off very thirsty. You come off very needy. And needy is creepy. Nobody likes doing business with a needy person. They don't. It's very unattractive. It gives a very icky feeling to it. Needy is creepy. Remember that. Needy is creepy. So what you want to do, you want to find out. See, when a client calls me, I'm doing consultations, y'all. I'm doing consultations. And like, even if you don't get the service from me, there's 2 things that's going to happen. You're going to regret not doing service with me once you get off the phone. And then 2, you're going to have more than enough information that the next person, the next notary that you call, if they do not give you stellar headlining service on that phone call, you're going to feel like they do not hold the candle to the previous notary that they called. You always want to be the headliner. If I could put it in show business terms, you do not want to be the opening act. You want to be the headliner every time. You want, even if they have you as the opening act, oh, you're the first notary company that I'm calling, you want to be the Jay-Z, Beyonce top headliner, like there is none better than me. Because if you are slipping on your pimping, slacking on your macking, you're leaving an opening for that other notary to do a much better job or deliver their service at a much higher level and then cut you out. Well, the other notary didn't say that. The other notary didn't offer me that. You don't want to be that dude. You want to be, well, what about this? Do you guys offer that? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Like they're calling this is the second notary that they call. How do you feel about that? Oh, I'm sorry. We don't offer that service. What about this? Oh, I'm sorry. We can't do that for you either. So you make it extremely simple for that client to say, you know what, I'm okay. I'll just call the other notary. They were offering much more service. Yeah, they were a little bit more expensive, but I'm willing to go with them because they cater to my needs. You want to frame the conversation. You want to ask them questions. You want to be like if your grandmother called you and they're saying, "Hey, baby, what do I need to do to get a notary?" All right, grandma, let's figure out what's going on. What kind of documents you getting? What are you looking to do? I'm trying to get a power of attorney done, sweetie. I'm trying to get a power of attorney done, sweetheart. Okay, Granny. Well, you're gonna need your photo ID. Okay, you have that? Yeah. You have the documents ready? Yeah. You know what I mean? You're going to take care of the people like they're a family member. There's a saying that says, man, how long should you be on the phone with a person that's supposed to close the deal? The answer is as long as it takes. There is no time limit. Nobody's timing you. If you close a deal in 5 seconds, congratulations. If you close a deal in 45 minutes, it's the same thing. You close the deal. You sealed the deal. And that's a psychological thing that you have to keep in mind because you may be rushing the client off the phone. And they can feel that. They can feel the energy like, damn, this person like trying to hurry up and get me off the phone. I have a couple more questions. What you say, Tech?
I'm guilty of that.
I know. I heard some of your calls. I'm guilty of it once in a blue moon.
It's a bad practice. I'm guilty of it. But if you can pull it off, then to me, efficiency-wise, it makes more sense to get somebody off the phone in less than 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 75 seconds. But you're right, framing the conversation as a solution, because it's a human-to-human interaction.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to make it seem like it's a transaction, it's a robot, and you don't care about anything except for the cash.
Yeah, and we're not selling a commodity, bro. We're not selling ketchup and mayonnaise. Like, go ahead, just grab it off the shelf and then go check yourself out. These are things that are involved with people that have people involved that even when you get to the location, there is going to be some type of dialogue. There's going to be somebody's talking to somebody. So that's not the end of the conversation once you close the deal. And on top of that is, if you get that client to feel as comfortable as possible with you on the phone, they will not be afraid to call you again. You know, you ever talk to somebody and be like, oh, I hope I don't get that person again. Or many people on here probably experienced this where you would call maybe your cell phone provider and you got a nasty person, right? But then the second time you call, you got a really good person and you tell that person, hey, do you have a direct line? I want to talk to you. Can I talk to you specifically next time? Do you have an extension that I can call? The reason why they say that is because they had such a nasty experience with the last person they called. And they resonate with you. They feel a connection with you. They want to talk to you when it comes to their problems because you're helping them find a solution. So guess what happens? You wind up keeping that customer a little bit longer on your plans. You might even be able to sell them a new phone. Hey, John, did you realize that you also have some jump points where you can get the new iPhone, whatever? No, I didn't know that. Tell me more about that, Fred. You've helped them out. The conversation part is going to be extremely important over time, especially with automated. See, here's the beautiful thing that I like about Sabrina, right? Is that Sabrina can book the appointments for the clients, but it is a unique case when a person says, I want to talk to an agent.
Yeah.
It's very unique because they can book the appointment through Sabrina. You could be like, press and link comes to you, you make the payment. You don't have to talk to anybody. And there is a generation that is, it really resonates with them. They don't want to talk to anybody. They want to just book the appointments, blah, blah, blah. That's perfect for them. But there is that non-technological person, or that person that just feels a little bit more comfortable talking to somebody before they process a payment of $250.
Let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
What percentage of live phone calls could you reasonably expect to be a confirmed appointment if somebody speaks to you? Given the fact that you have the option, as it is with Sabrina, to just book directly through the device, or you can press 0 and it can reroute you to a live agent. So once that person gets redirected to, and you're speaking to that person, what percentage would you reasonably expect that appointment should be a slam dunk appointment?
With my call script, I'm going to say, and you have to factor in price too, right? I'm going to say a 70 to 89% closing ratio.
Okay.
The reason why I say that the 70 to 89% is because the pricing does determine. If a person cannot afford it, it's not like they don't like your service, is that they just can't afford it. They may be able to afford only $100, but your pricing is $260, $70. It's not that they don't want your service, it's they don't have the funds to allocate to that. And you can price yourself to the point where you accept everybody, right? Like, do a $30 notary and you're at 100% now.
Yeah.
Right? You're at 100% closing ratio, but I never wanted to be at 100%. I was very comfortable with a 33% closing ratio.
Wow. That don't make sense to people. That's not going to make sense to a lot of people.
And that's okay, right? Because I'm sure out of 10 people that walk into a Louis Vuitton store, they're, only, a very small percentage can afford, a $10,000 purse. The rest of them are just there to be in awe. They just want to look and be, blown away. Like, I can't believe the pricing the price tag I see on this purse is $15,000. I'm like, and then maybe it helps them with their imagination and the fairy tale that they tell themselves. Well, one day I'll be able to afford that. That's cool and all, but today you're not affording that shit.
That's crazy.
Today you're not buying that.
That's the bag Rihanna was wearing at the Grammys.
The percentage is very small.
So 3 out of 4 people.
With.
All right, so you're saying that 3 out of 4 people who speak to you, you should be closing. That should be a confirmed appointment.
Yes. Well, no. 1 out of 3, I'm closing. At my price. Mm-hmm. Now, again, there are pricing that will reduce the how can I frame this? There are pricing that will reduce your rejection level. I actually look to increase my rejection level, if that makes sense. So if I lower my price, I'm lowering my rejection level. So out of 10 people, if I lower my price, if I'm closing 3 out of 9 people, I may start getting 5 out of 9 people because I lowered my price. If I lower my price even more, then I increase the amount of people that are going to say yes to my services. But I don't want everybody to say yes to my services because I want to make more money and I want to run less appointments. More money, less appointments.
That's a real interesting nuance about this specific industry stuff. This is not like fashion bags, like you're talking about high-end fashion bags. This is notary, guys. These appointments should be like slam dunks. Think about this. How often is somebody, they're literally reaching out to you, they're calling you. They're like, damn, man, I got my credit card. Like, which one do you want? I got all kind of credit cards right now. I need your help right now. So when you say, I'm looking to reduce, like that may not be a practical philosophy for a lot of people. They're like, man, shit, I want to increase the amount of acceptance for people. But what you're saying is the opposite. You're like, if I increase my rejection, that's actually a good thing. I'm looking for that resistance because the pricing is going to deter people. I don't want everybody. See, some people, some notaries who might be really new to the industry might be thinking, man, I just need to get as much work as possible, not realizing how damaging that actually could be for the financial condition of your business. You may end up taking $30, $25, $60 joints when at the same time that same person is able to get it for $268, $08, $289, $305. Same exact amount of work. But at the same time, because the pricing is such a drastic difference and they're going to increase, they're going to get that resistance from people. But at the same time, let's say you do something for $45 and I do it for $179. Shit, you got to work 4 times as hard as me.
Exactly. And run that many more appointments. Amra had a really good comment. She says, yes, if I'm making an appointment with somebody and they are immediately available, I think they don't have clients. See, this is a psychological game, y'all. So she thinks that they don't have clients and they aren't good. They may have NNA placards all over the joint. I was Notary of the Year 12 years in a row. But you're always available?
Hmm.
And on top of that, Tech, we talk about it all the time. When people think that you are a one-man show, it can hurt your business more than it can help.
People do that without even realizing.
Yeah, they don't even think about
the message that
Thank you,
are
Amra, for that comment. That was great. Yeah, they don't even think about that, Tech. That they're saying, I have this, or that I've talked to notaries because you and I, we book notaries in different states or whatever. I have notaries that be like, oh, I have to go pick up my kid at this time, so I won't be able to make it at.
Y'all don't believe us. They don't believe us. They don't believe you. It happens more often than I'm comfortable admitting. That's how often it happens. I'm uncomfortable admitting that.
Oh, I
Like,
have plans. I have plans later on tonight with my husband. I won't be able to. Lady, I don't
happens.
know you. I don't care about that stuff. Can you do it or not?
I got a show tonight at 6:30. Can they do it at 5? Can they move up the appointment to 5
Yeah,
o'clock?
tell your client, can they move it up to accommodate my schedule?
Some of y'all do this. Some of y'all watching right now probably do this. You're watching this live on replay. Does that sound like you? Don't be answering the phone telling us you got a concert that Chris Brown is in town, that you got to go to the show tonight, and you don't want to make no money.
But think about that for a second, Tech. They want to come across professional, right? They want to sound professional, and they want to give their company the big company feel. They want to sound like a Fortune 500 company, but you're using the word I all the time. Would that happen at any Fortune 500 corporation, or would they? Is there a receptionist answering the phone? You got to get comfortable being the receptionist in your business. This business can be as fun as you want it to be. You can literally become the actor or actress in your own play. Today, right now, I'm the receptionist. Tomorrow, later on, I'm going to be the operations manager. You know, the cool operations manager that brings donuts to his own office. Then later on, I'm going to be the notary that comes notarize your appointment. And then after that, I'll be the customer service rep that say, hey, did our notary do a great job? Like, switch the roles. You hear it all the time. Entrepreneurs wear many hats.
Right. Which was your favorite role?
Mine?
Yeah.
The one that closes the deal, baby. The one that that brings the money to the business. How could I not love that? Because the customer rewards me not with a thank you. Thank yous are nice, but fuck all that. I like the cha-ching. The cha-ching is the greatest reward for me.
Yeah.
That is a thank you with greenbacks.
Yeah, that's real. Yeah, I like being the person who this might sound a little crazy, but I like being the person who I like being the owner, or I like being the receptionist who was given a longer leash by the owner to speak freely. Like, I just like, because there'll be times, as crazy as this gonna sound, there's been times where I'll call a client out. Like, I'll just straight call them out on their BS and they'll end up booking with me. Like, for example, this woman who called me from another state. She's from Maryland. She had a dad who was in California. She was going to fly out to California to get this power of attorney with her dad, who was in a medical care facility. And she was just talking about how the price of the power of attorney was just too much. And I just kept telling, and then at some point, I was just like, okay, you know what, lady? Listen, when you fly out to California, first of all, I asked her, I said, do you have a power of attorney? She was like, no, I have one for my dad. I said, do you have a power of attorney? She says, no, do I have a power of attorney? I'm like, yes, you. Do you have a power of attorney on yourself? She goes, no, I don't. And I said, I know you don't. I know you don't. Here's your dad, 88 years old. He could die tomorrow. And you're talking about $200 is too much. Lady, get off my phone. Straight up. I just said just like that. I said, we do time-sensitive, urgent documents. It starts at $200. I'm giving you the $200 price. And she's like, you mean to tell us that's too much? I said, lady, get off my phone. An hour later, she calls back talking about, I've been trying to book the appointment, but I don't want to put my phone, my card on the, on the internet. I said, we'll take your payment over the phone. Sometimes you got to go over the top a little bit. I like being that person because sometimes you just got to go at somebody. Sometimes, like, listen, your dad could die tomorrow, and you talking about $200. Your dad could. It happens, don't it? People
No. You're 100% right. When I worked in the health club industry, man, it is an intangible product, right? So you can't touch it. You can't really, but you know what the results that you're looking for. And the men and women that would come in there, they all want to shape and tone. They all want to get into better shape, increase their energy and stuff like that. But guess what, dude? Like, if you don't sign up for this membership right now, you're going to go back home and do what you've been doing. And you're going to continue to feel the way you've been feeling, looking the way you've been looking. You say you want to get back to when you was in high school, you had a six-pack, my dude. Like, you've already taken the big step to get here. See it through. What, you got to go back home and then get a Whopper on the way and then be like, oh, well, maybe when the next commercial comes on, or, And then women, the urgency was different because a lot of times they would have a wedding coming up and they would be standing up in the wedding, and they wanted to fit in the dress. They wanted to look a certain way in that dress, and they did not like the appearance of their body at the time. There's always a force, an invisible force that we do not see as notaries that are pushing the clients to make that phone call. Once you realize that all you have to do is be the catcher in baseball, right? All you have to do is be the catcher and just catch the ball. This job will get 1,000,000 times easier. If a client is calling you to get a power of attorney, that is not at their own will.
No.
There is a company, an entity, a person that is telling them, you better go get that power of attorney or this will not get done.
Every time.
And the consequences are going to be a lot higher than you want it to be. Once you realize there is that invisible entity that is putting foot to ass to your client, I mean stilettos to your client's behind, and they're calling you, all you have to do is help them and accept the money.
Hold their hand.
It is the easiest money you'll probably ever make in a business, bro.
Yeah. 70-80%. They should be slam dunks. Somebody for this industry, we're not selling cars, y'all. This is not Pizza Hut. This is Notary. This is such a unique, to me, industry where somebody is calling you, asking you for you to help them.
We got 2 more to go. Before we go into the 2 more, we're going to take a quick commercial break on this one. We'll be right back.
As a part-time traveling notary with a full-time job, balancing everything can be tough, especially when you're getting calls at all hours. That's where Sabrina AI comes in. Think of Sabrina as your personal assistant who answers every call, handles appointment bookings, provides quick answers to common questions, and filters out non-urgent inquiries.
All right. All right, let's go into number 2. And then we're going to go to our number 1 spot. This number 2 is very underrated, but very, very important. Active listening. Active listening and validation. Your phone is attached to one ear. You have two ears, one mouth, right? So that means you listen more and you talk less. You have the phone to your ear, and the fact that a person is calling you for your services, for your business, and you're not actively listening to their concerns and what's going on is borderline disrespectful, bro. It's damn near disrespectful. That's like I'm talking to you right now, but when you start talking and you're addressing me, I'm like off the screen. I'm like, yeah, I'm listening, Tech. And I'm having a whole different conversation, or I'm doing something entirely different on the side over here. That's disrespectful.
And they're paying you too.
They're willing to pay you.
Yeah, willing to pay you.
The active listening is such a crucial part. And when I say validation is reiterating and repeating what they said back to you, which we call a recap. Let me get this right, John. Using the person's name because you asked for it and you were actively listening. You're looking to get a estate planning trust. Repeating the document that they're looking to get. And you're looking to do this on Friday at 3:00, confirming the time and validating the time and date that they're like. If you understood what that does for a person and how that plays in the mental psyche of a person to know that they are being listened to. You know, people pay thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to psychiatrists just so they would be heard. Your spouse ain't listening to you at home because there's a whole bunch of other stuff going on at home. You're experiencing, some anxiety at work and stuff. Nobody at work, you don't even want to share your life with your coworkers. So they go seek out a therapist or somebody that will. Bro, when I did a video on high-end call girls, hookers, prostitutes, right? And the high-end call girls, what they were doing is it was way beyond the sexual exploration, right? It was top level executive having someone to call and talk to and having a person to listen to them. They said we make most of our money just listening to them. They would hear corporate executives say, hey, we got this big deal going on, and I don't want my employees to think I'm weak, but I'm really scared and the call girl has no experience in that line of work. She's just lending the ear. So the active listening is crucial. And then you reiterate and validate what they said to you and be like, so let me get this right. So you're looking to do this, right? And this is the results you're looking to get? We can help you out with that. It's going to be $300. I'm telling you guys, you use these tips that I'm giving you guys today, you will instantly give yourself a raise on the next phone call. Yeah, the very next phone call you get, you can try one or all four of these strategies, and you can instantly ask for more money and you'll get it. Tech, you want to add?
Yeah, just active listening is it is a skill. Everybody just wants to be heard. That's all they. So you're saying, so just so I understand, that if I'm not listening to you and I'm off doing something that is unrelated to the topic of the conversation that is disrespectful, people also continue to pay thousands and thousands of dollars in the form of therapy, in the form of high-end call girls, which is sometimes unrelated to what they have going on, but it's just for people to listen to them. Just and then for me to come out and do this appointment is just the total today is going to be about $300. What I just did was a recap or a summary or validation. You can practice this in everyday life. You can do this with your spouse. You can do this with the person at the grocery store. You can do this with the person who washes your car. You can do this with your kid's teacher. Just listen. And if you can summarize what that person has just said, everybody just wants to be heard. That's everybody's own internal desire is just to be heard. You ever have an argument with your wife or with your husband or your significant other, and they be like, "You never listen," and then, here's how maybe I shouldn't even reveal this because my wife might watch this, but well, I'm gonna help you guys out. I'm gonna help you guys make money, and I'll help you guys in your own personal relationships. Next time you guys are having this discussion with your significant other, repeat back what they just said, and then they say, "Exactly, that's right." You are giving a validation to what they're saying, and they will be like, "All right, thank you for listening to me." All right, everybody just wants to be heard. Your customers are calling you for power of attorney. That's all they want you to do is to listen to them. That's it, and that's all. When you take a phone call, that's why I think that 70-80% closing ratio that you're talking about, I think it's higher than that, man. Somebody calls me and they're just like, "Listen, my dad's in the medical facility. I'm going to be flying out there on Friday. We've been trying to get this power of attorney because the bank is just asking me to get this advanced healthcare directive, and the hospital wants this advanced healthcare directive. The bank wants me to get this power of attorney. He needs to be able to handle dad's finances. I'm not sure how long he's going to be living and how much longer he has left. And we've been trying to get this done for like the last 2 months. So we finally want to get it done." Like that whole summary, and then I can just repeat that right back to the person. And then here's the next step. We can help you. It looks like we have a 3 o'clock earliest. Then we have an 8 o'clock the next day. If you want to wait till the next day, your total today is going to be $303.79. Game over.
Game over.
And yet people make it so complicated. Notaries struggle so much. And I get it because we don't really have communication is something that's not taught. People are afraid of confrontation. They don't want to hear rejection. They don't want to hear no. And you work in corporate for 30 years. So you never had this responsibility to go out and make money on your own. You're anxious because you need to make money to get some income coming in. I get it. So people, if they fumble this step, but it's like we just laid out, it's the easiest part.
It's a psychological thing, bro. It's all psychological.
Yeah, it's human.
Nobody's asking you to lift center blocks and lumber and shit. You're not physically lifting anything like where you don't have to, use the noggin. You're having a conversation with a person. If somebody, and like you said, everybody wants to be seen. Most people want to be seen. All people want to be heard.
Yes.
If a person talks and you ignore them, if you're not actively listening to them, you're ignoring them. And how does it feel being ignored?
Not good.
Get in a group of four people and you're the only one being ignored. How are you going to feel being in that group?
I don't want to be around them.
Exactly. But when you talk and everybody stops talking and they listen to you, you feel appreciated. You feel like you're bringing some type of value to the conversation.
Yeah, for my single guys out there, the single men, you guys are out there dating, stop talking. You talk too much. Just listen. There's some advice for you right there.
You said they talk too much.
Talk too much, bro. Just ask questions and then, yeah, okay, and repeat the last 3 words that they said. So you and your sister grew up in New Orleans, right? Let them keep talking. Oh wow, wow. So you went to college at NYU? Wow, yeah. All right. Like, just keep asking questions. Don't even talk. Don't talk. They'll be like, damn, I learned so much. But they did all the talking. It's human nature, man.
Women, let me. I'll run a poll. Women, do you feel like when you're out there dating, are men talking too much? Are men just over talking and like? I'd like to know. Me and Tech are married, so like we're not. I'm not in the dating pool. I haven't been in the dating pool like in a minute. I'm going on 19 years of marriage, man. Like,
Oh wow.
yeah, I don't get it twisted though. You know, the nigga still got game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It won't take long for a cat to, snap back into it. But the conversation piece is crucial in just any like we're human beings, dude. Like we're not hermits. We don't live in the cargo part of a moving train. Like we interact with people, man. The communication is super important. You got to talk to people, especially in this business with the notary business. It goes right into number one, why they're even calling you. It's this. The number one spot is that you must display and communicate authority and transfer confidence. What if you call Tech and the person was like, oh, you need to get a power of attorney? Ooh, I don't know if I do that.
Happens.
What is a power? What's a power of attorney again?
Yeah, it happens. That's funny.
I've
That's
had
funny.
that happen. I've had that happen.
Yeah. I've never done that before.
Yeah, I've never done a power of attorney before. Yep.
I don't know how much
or estate planning or what. Yeah.
Yeah, you asked them how much would you charge for that? They're like, I've never done it before, so I don't know.
Mm-hmm. When you're on the phone, are you communicating with authority? Like you are very knowledgeable about what you do. That's why, like, although there is a lot of categories that you can jump into with the notary side of business, and people are bringing non-notary things into the notary space, right? Like apostilles and fingerprinting and stuff like that, which really isn't notary, but you can still attract those clients because it kind of like it can be put in that container. I'll say that.
Translation. I just did a translation the other day. That's not notary.
Yeah, right. So there's a lot of things that you could put into that bucket where the notaries, but they're calling the notary because the notary, they assume that the notary already has this certain type of authority because you had to get commissioned by the state of whatever state that you're in. Now, the thing is that if you really think, and we're going to try to unfuck yourself right here. If you are still using the mentality of general notary work, you are killing your business.
Yeah. Sadly.
It's almost like using negative words to describe yourself. Like you hear of positive affirmations, it's almost like using negative affirmations to describe yourself and your business. If you're using something called general notary work, the fact that you would even put yourself in a category to say, oh, that's general notary work, or you even say it to a client, First of all, it makes me want to throw up,
Yeah.
for one. But
Yeah.
general notary work does not exist. It was a plot ploy to make one category of notarizations look more elite than another.
Loan closings.
Loan closings. I know plenty of notaries that make more money doing so-called general notary work than they do with loan closings.
Not even close.
Hands down. But in order for you to purchase their courses and their products and for them to make a lot more content, they will push the narrative of loan signings is the thing to do, where you're really just applying for a job, really. Go to 100 loan signing services and title companies and basically put in a fucking application.
Yeah.
Go put in a job application to these title companies, escrow companies, real estate agents. Put in your application. And everything else falls by the wayside. Everything else is general notary work.
Makes no sense.
They got you thinking that you're a boss going to apply for jobs.
Don't know what they talk about.
That goes into the framing of the conversation part. That was number 3. They framed the conversation to have new notaries and even existing notaries believe that everything else is that it isn't loan signings is general. That's poison.
Makes no sense.
That is a form of mind control. So once you're aware of that, you should be able to, you should reprogram yourself today. You should look at it as at one point of your life you used to believe in Santa Claus. But now that you know better, you don't believe in Santa Claus anymore. You know he doesn't exist. So at one point of your life, you believed that loan signings was the cream of the crop and the top of the top, and everything else was a general notary work. Now you know better. And if you know better, you do better. You could get far more money with a power of attorney than a loan signing.
Yeah, less time. You do more of them.
You're not printing out any paper. No 150, 300 pages. There's no scan backs. There's no FedEx or UPS runs. Like, who's working more efficiently now? There's no back and forth correspondence with email. Oh, I'm still waiting for this document to. You guys know what you go through. Stop acting like it's so fly. It's not fly.
When do you get paid?
Oh my God. 3 weeks from now.
If the company don't go out of business.
Like tech, are we the only ones like telling people about like it's not as fly as you think it is, man?
I think people know. They just it's an uphill battle. I think people know the truth. I think by far we're the most vocal about it. I've never been a loan signing agent, and I know you haven't either. You never have done that. Never been a notary signing agent or whatever variation of it that you want to be. I think people have definitely waken up to the fact that it was a misdirection. It was misinformed. especially when the real estate mortgage rates completely increased, and then they just put the entire industry in a tailspin, and then all of a sudden, is oversaturated, is much more competitive, and the lowball offers started to come. But in reality, it was always like that. I mean, we don't have to go into the entire history, but we always know that people telling you to go direct. You gotta listen. You could be commissioned yesterday. I'm literally right out the gate. You can just get your commission half an hour ago, and you could command what the most seasoned of all notaries have commanded. It's not, you got to work your way up. You got to put in your work. You got to, you got
Do
to
things for
put in your
free.
time. Yeah, do it for free. You got to do all that, man. If you have a notary commission that's active, you can do just what I can do, or Tiger can do, or anybody else who's commission do. I would never tell somebody just because you're brand new that you need to put in that work. You need to put in your time. You need to kiss the ring. Hell nah. That's crazy. Why did you get into this industry? What did you got in this industry to make money, didn't you? Or did you come and get in here to be a community servant, to drive around the community and around? I became a notary so I can drive around the state of Ohio during the middle of the day and listen to the stories from my customers. I got into notary so that I could be a community servant, and I got into notary so that I could be of help to those who are in need. And okay,
Become a nun. Be a nun. Be a priest or something. Go be a pastor. Go do that. Go volunteer your work at the hospital for needy children. This is a business. We're here to make money. Once you make the money, then if you want to contribute, that's a far better. Your money could go a lot farther than just your little bit of effort, because you're only one person. But to needy children, donate $1,000, $10,000, and see how far that goes.
Right, see how many more people you can help with that.
Yeah. Check your mindset. Really analyze and see what you're really telling yourself. Are you lying to yourself? The solution, I'm glad you said that. So the solution is get a call script. If you are on the phone, I'm not even going to plug in my call script. I have $1 million call script. Create your own. Your call script will allow you to position yourself with authority. Your call script will allow you to walk through and validate the conversation that you have with the client. The call script will allow you to not fumble and bumble your words, and you can actively listen and write down whatever's happening with that client. Framing the conversation, because now you understand what their problem is. Once you understand what their problem is, you can diagnose it and offer a solution that works best for them. Then you could give them a price. The price will become irrelevant if they see that you are genuinely helping them.
Now the call script is deep. Yeah, just one more thing on the call script. The call script is what separates you from somebody who doesn't have any level of training, interacting or communicating or doing the things that we've been talking about for the last hour. The call script is what separates you from the person who is a one-person show, a notary signing agent who does everything themselves. I do this. I'm not available because I have another appointment. I can't do that because can you do it at 5 o'clock instead of 6:30? Right? The call script will make sure that you absorb every single person who contacts you. I can service this person. I can either direct traffic. I can triage them to where they need to necessarily go. I can do an introduction. I can qualify them. I can disqualify them. I can close the call. Thank you for calling ABC Notary. This is Tech speaking. What document can we help you with? How may I help you? What type of identification do you have? What city do you live in? Who's signing the document? Sounds like we can help you. Here's the next step. We send you a link. We send you an invoice. We send you an email. We send you a text message. This is how you pay for it. The price is $303. The price is $298.87. The price is $117.69. The call script allows you to do that. See, if you are just being spoon-fed appointments from somebody, from a title company, from a signing service, or from a notary friend, and they're telling you where to be, they're telling you who to go see, what time you need to be there, what you need to bring, and what you need to bring them back, and then they pay you 40 days later. See, there's a separator here between what is a sustainable business versus something where you kind of do it as a favor, or you do it when you're available, or you do it when you're done with your 9 to 5, or you only do it on the weekends. The call script is like step number 0. I can't even say step number 1. It's like you can't even proceed without the call script to me.
We have a manifesting life with Staria. She said, I am a loan signing agent, 6 figures within 6 months. That's fantastic. Matter of fact, I want to say that I'm going to add this to it. I'm going to add an applause to that.
Big up.
Right? That's the goal with this business, is to make money. I have it documented. I've helped my students make $25,000 a month, and to some people, it doesn't register that people can make that type of money in this industry. One form of advice that I would give, if you are dependent on one company or maybe 2 companies that are giving you 90% of your assignments, you might want to set up a backup.
Yeah, be cautious. Very cautious.
You may want to align a plan B, because these companies get very fickle for whatever reason.
What you mean fickle? What does that mean?
You know, all of a sudden they call you and then they don't want to do business with you. No explanation given, nothing. They just decide that they don't want to do business with you anymore. Or there was an assignment that you couldn't do or whatever, and they start holding this over your head. You know, the last 3 assignments you weren't able to do. And this is real facts and stories that I'm telling you right now. You weren't able to do it. We think that we should get a discount now. We've been giving you a lot of business. Well, I'm sorry, Jan. I just had a lot going on. Okay. All right. Well, I'll let my manager know. I'll let my supervisor know that that's what's going on. And then shout out to my homie that, unfortunately, when the company, he make really, really good money with these 2 companies, right? But he didn't know that they were sister companies. He said something to the lady about he had to go up on his price. The lady did not like the way him asking for more money to do his notarizations for whatever reason. She decided, she told him, because I was on the phone call, I was just listening on the phone call. I wasn't saying anything. He told me he just wanted me to shadow the phone call and listen to the way these people were talking to him. And she said that we're not going to use you anymore.
Wow.
Out of nowhere, just because he asked for more, he felt like his services was becoming more and more valuable, so he was charging accordingly. She didn't like the way that he came at her for whatever reason to ask for more money. She said, we're not going to use you anymore. And you know that other company that you are using, that's our sister company. We're going to tell them not to use you anymore either. He lost 2 companies just like that, dude.
She said that?
She said that. And she did that. No, worst of all, she did that. He was getting a bunch of appointments out in Atlanta, and then he got a bunch of appointments from a company in Illinois. And just like that, he lost 2 companies that he didn't even associate that they were even working with each other. And that's how you get blackballed.
Mm. True story.
True story. Heck, one day I may even invite him onto the show and have him tell you the story.
Please, yeah.
It's listen, man. You're only as valuable to them when you are. Once you're not, they're not loyal to you. They're not loyal to you. If you said you're no longer doing the notary business anymore, how quickly do you think they would replace you? Yeah, do you think they would bat an eye or blink and have a hard time or do you think that they would shut down their business because you no longer want to do notary, but maybe you want to get into real estate and be an investor or a real estate agent? Stop putting so much stock in these people. It's a business. They can fire you the same way you can fire them.
That's good. People need to hear the whole story, the full story. It's not just being a notary signing agent and then you just sign up for 10 different signing services and then a couple different title companies and then everything is all good. It's not like that at all. Nah, it's not like that at all. They decide that they can fire you tomorrow, next week, or in the next year, and then what? Or you decide that you need to take a break or you want to go visit your friend in Las Vegas on a busy weekend, and then you're not longer, you're not around anymore. They contacted you, but you said no. Like you said, I can't go. I can't do it this time because I'm actually in Disneyland or I'm in Hawaii or I just want to take a break. I got a birthday party to go to or something like that. And now all of a sudden you're looked at upon as unreliable. Or you decide that you watch Tiger and Tech show and then you want to charge $125 extra on top of what you've been charging because you know damn well that you couldn't. You know that you can. You have the skills to do it. And then they say, you know what? We're not going to, we don't pay that.
And you know what's interesting too, though, right? A lot of, we have somebody like that in our group as well that is making that type of money that's using Sabrina. And it's very interesting that the money is cool, right? But her real passion is to be a content creator. And if she can make that transition to content creator and make a fraction of that money, she would actually be happier.
Yeah, the notary stuff is work.
We see him come and go all the time. We even did a show about it. The rise and fall of the notary gurus. We did a show about it. They come and go all the time. They come in, they blow up real quick. They share their advice on how they blew up. And then by the time their commission is time to renew, they're gone.
Yeah, but what really happened, though? That's the thing. What really happened is that...
What do you think really happened? What do you think really happened?
Title companies stopped calling, man.
Mm.
Yeah, signing services started lowballing it, and they start demanding more money. It's just like you work at somewhere for so long, you start working overtime, you're going to get burned out. Or you start doing such a good job, get a level of seniority, you ask for a raise. They're like, nah, we don't give raises. And then all of a sudden, all that stuff you was talking for the last year is no more, and you can't
No.
hold it up anymore. So you got to do what to call quote unquote pivot. But as we always say, you got to get your own clients. It's not a bad thing that you work that route and that you work with signing services and stuff like that. We can't disparage you for doing that. That's not a bad thing. But we also hammer in, you gotta get your own clients, and it starts with a call script. Number one, you cannot get your own clients if you don't have a call script. You can try to wing it. You can try to come up with it off the top of the. You're gonna be inconsistent if you don't have a call script. You're gonna be inconsistent at best. My life didn't change until I got a call script. I tell Tiger this all the time. My life didn't change until I got a call script, until I got some order in a sequence of how I went about it. And I should know better. I came from a medical background. When we examine a knee or examine a shoulder or a hip or whatever, there's always you follow the same exact order every single time.
I always said the person that gets the client sits on the top of the food chain. Period. See, the thing is that they and let me open your third eyes for a second. You guys believe that companies like SnapDocs and Notary Dash and all of these other platforms that are giving you these clients, that you did the hard work. They actually did the hard work. And what you're not realizing is that companies like SnapDocs will allow people actually, they want people like Tech and I who get quite a bit of business to use their platform and white label it. And then we funnel our assignments through their platform. Now, what is the advantage of that, right? Well, Tech and Tiger, you guys already did the hard work. You already got all of the business. Now you just need notaries to fulfill it, but you don't want to spend the premium price. So what we did, we created a platform where you can send a mass text to notaries in that area. Let's say Texas, and you send this mass text. Now, if you're sending this mass text to 500 notaries, don't you think that you can kind of dictate the price on that?
Right.
So if I were to pay a notary, let's say normally I would pay the notary $100 or $150 to do this assignment. If I know that I'm gonna send out a text and 500 notaries are gonna receive that text, do you think I'm going to offer them $100 or $150 when I know by that time that the normal will probably be like $60, $45?
Wow.
See, the thing is, you guys don't know who the companies like that. I have an agency. Tech has an agency. We have notaries on our Sabrina platform that have agencies. And then the narrative that they're pushing on the internet is go sign up to these signing services. That's us. We are the signing services that they're telling you to go to. You just don't know.
Can't think of it like that.
Every week I have somebody signing up to work with my agency. Every week. All over the United States.
Yeah, all the time.
You think they care? No. Now me and Tech overpay our notaries. But if we were to do industry standards, trust me, we know how to navigate through that. We ask the notary what they want to get paid. And it's always 99% always lower than what we're willing to pay them.
Yeah, not even close.
We're showing you the other side of this game. The people that own these so-called signing services look like Tech and I. Where did you think you were getting your assignment? Who do you think are getting these assignments? You think all of us all have law firms and title and escrow companies? No, we just know how to generate leads and close deals.
That's it right there.
If we know how to get the leads and close the deals, what is stopping us from being a signing service? What do a signing service have that we don't have?
The lead and the deal.
It's the same shit. What's the difference between a title company and our agency? Nothing.
Nothing.
You're relying on them for them to close the deal and then pay you. That's what Tech and I do every single day. And then we dispatch the notary. So instead of having hatred in your heart for signing services or companies that are notaries that are doing better than you, learn from them.
Yeah, become one.
Become one. You want to build your operation, you want a scalable business? Listening to the show is definitely going to help you out with that. I tell you that right now. But it brings me back to the last story. I'll give you guys this last story. Chick in Indiana, and I've said this story before. Chick in Indiana, I commissioned her to go to St. Francis Hospital in Indiana to do a power of attorney. She knew that I was the agency at that point. So 30 minutes before the appointment, she calls and then she tries to extort me for more money. And I'm like, all right, well, what's the rhyme and reason why you're asking for more money? You gave me the price. I agreed to your price. Matter of fact, I even offered you a little bit more on top of that. But now you're saying that I should pay you more money. And she deliberately did this too. She said, because you have an agency and I don't, and I've always wanted to have an agency. I said, so that is your reason for charging me more? Wouldn't it make sense for you to just ask me, how can I start my own agency? I might have the information for you. Needless to say, I agreed to her price. She got her 2 shekels, right? Her extra 3 wooden coins, whatever.
Extra beans.
You know what I mean? Here go extra beans for your cupboard. But I never used her again after that.
Exactly.
How stupid. And she didn't get the information from me.
Exactly.
Come on. If somebody is doing something that you admire or you like, or the way you want to move your business, instead of being bitter with them and angry with them because you're not doing it, ask them, how do you do it? And if they have something to sell, a course or something like that, buy it. I'm done, Tech. It's all you.
Nah, we're at the hour-and-a-half mark already, so yeah, I think people listen to our voice long enough. But yeah, I mean, the industry is not that difficult, but I think that if you plan to have this as a business, you want this to be a sustainable business. In other words, if you don't do everything, you can't do everything. If you do everything, then that's self-employment. Self-employment is just a matter of time before you get burned out. And, the last thing we want to do is have you burned out. Last thing we want you to do is bow out of this industry prematurely. We want you to enjoy this. It's a lot of fun. you start calling your own shots, and look at it through a different lens. See what you can do to generate leads, close the calls, delegate the job out. If you want to do the job, then more power to you. But you want at least to have the option to do it.
And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, peace, love, happiness, and make a lot of money. We always wish that for you guys. And see us next Wednesday for the next show. You heard? Peace.
As a business owner, you're juggling a lot, and managing phone calls can quickly become overwhelming.
That's where Sabrina, the AI voice automation that turns calls into clients, comes in. Imagine having a reliable 24/7 assistant that never misses a call, handles routine questions, schedules appointments, and directs important calls to the right people, all without needing a human touch.
This frees up your team's time to focus on what really matters, saves you money, and ensures every customer gets a consistent, professional experience. It's like having an extra set of hands, so you can focus on growing your business, not just managing calls.
Scan the QR code to book your free demo today.